Here are the 9 contestants preparing for today's show. Only one of them could win the prize money of up to £10,000. The others will leave with nothing, as round by round they are voted off as the weakest link.
Welcome to the weakest link. Any of the 9 people in the studio here today could win up to £10,000. They don't know each other. However, if they want to win that prize money, they'll have to work as a team. But 8 of them will leave with nothing, as round by round we lose the player voted the weakest link. Let's meet the team.
Hello, I'm Elsie, I'm 20 years old, and I'm a hairdresser.
I'm Daniel, I'm 39, and I'm a retail manager.
Hi, I'm Phil, I'm 52, and I'm a book author.
Hello, I'm Ashley, I'm 27, and I'm a restaurant waitress.
I'm Edna, I'm 72, and I'm a retired fitness instructor.
Hello, I'm Grant, I'm 29, and I'm an actor.
I'm Hamasa, I'm 35 years old, and I'm a financial advisor.
Hello, my name is Janine, I'm 43, and I run a laundrette.
Hi, I'm Lewis, I'm 24, and I'm currently unemployed.
Now the rules, in each round. The aim is to answer enough questions correctly to reach your £1,000 target within the time limit. The fastest way is to create a chain of 9 correct answers. If you say pass or get your question wrong, you'll break the chain and lose all that money in the chain. However, if you say the word bank before the next question is asked, the money is safe, but you'll start a new chain from scratch. As ever, the first question is worth £20. Remember team, at the end of the round only money that has been banked can be taken forward. In round 1 there are 3 minutes on the clock. We'll start with the person whose name is first alphabetically. And that's you, Ashley. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Ashley, in geography, Edinburgh is the capital city of which country of the UK?
Scotland.
Correct, Edna. In a leap year which month has 29 days?
January.
Even February, Edna. Grant, the structure made of glass which helps grow plants is called the green what?
House.
Correct, Hamasa. In the 1997 film Titanic, which Canadian female singer sang the song My Heart Will Go On?
Celine Dion.
Correct, Janine. Which large flightless bird is said to bury its head in sand when threatened?
Ostrich.
Correct, Lewis. What is a condition where someone has a seizure triggered by flashing lights?
Epilepsy.
Correct, Elsie.
Bank.
In maths, what is 25% as a fraction?
I don't know.
1/4. Daniel, what is the name of the captain played by Johnny Depp in the Pirates of the Caribbean series?
Jack Sparrow.
Correct, Phil. The Japanese art of folding paper is called what?
Origami.
Correct, Ashley. What word is used for a pen's ink that can't be removed? Indelible or inevitable?
Indelible.
Correct, Edna. The River Nile, which is the world's longest river, is located in which continent?
Asia.
Nope, Africa. Grant, in food, Wensleydale is a type of what dairy food product?
Cheese.
Correct, Hamasa. In spelling, the word xylophone begins with what letter?
X.
Correct, Janine. Complete the famous quote from the 1975 film Jaws. You're gonna need a bigger what?
Boot.
Correct, Lewis. The arch enemy of Robin Hood is called the Sheriff of what?
I don't know.
The correct answer is Nottingham. Lewis.
Bank.
There's nothing to bank, Elsie. In music, which English rock band has the lead singer Gordon Sumner, who's better known as Sting?
Is it Take That?
Nope, Elsie, The Police is the correct answer. Daniel, who wrote the 1986 horror novel It, which is about Pennywise the Killer Clown?
Stephen King.
Correct, Phil. In Olympic sports, how many events are in a modern pentathlon?
4.
Nope, 5. Ashley, in the periodic table, what noble gas is represented by the letters Ne?
Nitrogen?
No, the correct answer is neon. Ashley, wow, this is off to a fantastic start. Not. Edna, in the television which game show was originally hosted by Roy Walker?
Catchphrase.
Correct, Grant. What is the largest planet in our solar system?
Jupiter.
Correct, Hamasa.
Bank.
In computer systems, which of these? Time's up. I cannot complete the question. And that was a very pathetic start, team. Out of the £1,000 available in this easy first round, you only banked a measly £250. Who do you think is performing badly? Who has been preventing you from reaching your target? Whose performance is the lowest of the low? One of you is about to leave with nothing. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
Having answered the most questions correctly, Grant is the first strongest link. Despite banking £200 for the team, Elsie is the weakest link, because she failed to answer a single question correctly. But, on the other hand, Edna and Lewis have failed to bank any money for the team. Who is going to be voted off first, in this early stage of the game?
Okay, voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Lewis.
Elsie.
Edna.
Grant.
Ashley.
Elsie.
Ashley.
Lewis.
Edna.
We have a four-way tie, Elsie, Ashley, Edna and Lewis, 2 votes each. Phil, who thinks that they are 4 modern pentathlon events instead of 5. Remind us what you do.
I'm a book author.
What kind of books do you write?
I write children's story books and novels.
That sounds explorable to kids, I presume. And for how long have you been doing that for?
For up to 20 years so far.
Really? That seems pretty long. Are you often likely to entertain children with the books you have written?
Yes, I am actually, because since I started writing books, I like to read them to my wife and kids, and I also like to entertain children with my books at a theater.
That sounds interesting. And what specific genre of children's story books and novels did you write?
The genre of books I wrote are adventures, action, comedy, and romance.
That's pretty much entertaining for your family and the children at the theater. And speaking of your wife and kids, what is your wife's name? How many kids have you got, and how old are they?
My wife's name is Jolene Thompson, and the number of kids I have are 2 sons, ages 9 and 6, and 2 daughters, ages 8 and 7.
Very nice. I think you'll make a good father for that. So tell me, Phil, why did you vote for Edna? Is it because she's old?
It doesn't matter whether she's old or young. The main reason why I voted for Edna is because she was one of the people who got questions wrong. And she's also one of the people who's lost some money for the team, which is also the reason why we didn't make much money in this first round.
Right. So Edna, how well do you think your performance was in this round?
It was pretty shambles, to be honest, even though I did manage to get 1 question right.
Indeed you did. So you said that you're retired then?
Yes, I am retired.
And what did you do before you retired, and for how long?
Before I retired, I was a fitness instructor for 45 years.
Wow. That was extraordinarily long. You must have missed your long-term job, I believe.
Yes, I did, because when I was young, I always loved to teach some exercise classes.
I see. And what do you do when you're retired?
I interact with my friends on group chats, and I also like watching game shows.
And what are your specialist subjects when it comes to game shows?
Well, my specialist subjects are maths, sports, and movies. But definitely not geography.
That's probably why you don't know which continent the River Nile is located. So Edna, why have you voted for Ashley?
Well, not only that she got a question wrong, but she's also not working as a team player, as she is fixating herself on voting for the strongest link, which I knew was Grant.
Well, when the vote is tied, the strongest link gets to cast the deciding vote. And the strongest link, well done to Edna for being spot on, was Grant. Grant, what do you do for a living?
I'm an actor.
What kind of acting things do you do?
Well, I act out as a red grounding man, like grounding troublemakers, just like in Go Animate, as it's my ideal project.
Really? Well, why don't we hear your voice then?
Well, with big pleasure, here it goes.
My freaking god, Charlie Truder, my horrendous twin brother. I can't believe you let the bastard measure odds by saying that he doesn't need the prize money, and then being very rude to some other contestants as well when you appeared on the show. How freaking dare you? That is so totally freaking it. You are so super ultra mega extremely grounded for 100,000 million billion trillion quadrillion gigaplex letters. Now, go upstairs to you right now. Revel.
Cool. I presume you could be a legendary actor with that monstrous act.
Yeah, I suppose you could say that.
So Grant, you voted for Elsie, but you now have a choice. You can either stick with Elsie or change your mind and vote for either Ashley, Edna, or Lewis. So who do you want to send off from the team with nothing?
I would actually like to change my mind and get rid of Ashley.
Why?
Well, I normally wouldn't hold a grudge unless it's for a certain reason, and I completely agree with Edna. She was the only one who voted for me when I was the strongest link in this first round, which makes her jealous. And she's clearly not working as a team because of that.
Okay, fair enough. Well, Ashley, you were the only one who voted for the strongest link, and because of this Grant and Edna have both had enough of you. So I guess it's back to being a restaurant waitress for you. With 3 votes you're the weakest link. Goodbye.
I'm so fuming to be the first one standing here and misfired on, because I was not even the weakest link in this round, and I really hope Grant and Edna don't win. Because they are just being very stupid and greedy, and both of them don't deserve the prize money.
Round 2. You have in the bank just £250 when you could have won 1,000. You're down to 8 players. We're cutting 10 seconds from the time. We'll start with the strongest link in the last round. And that's Grant. Let's play. The weakest link. Start the clock. Grant, in a game of football, if a player receives a second yellow card, are they booked or sent off?
Sent off.
Correct, Hamasa. In McDonald's, the Big Mac was introduced in 1967, made with which meat?
Beef.
Correct, Janine. Olivia Newton-John plays the character Sandy Olsen in which musical film?
Grease.
Correct, Lewis.
Bank.
Which American writer and producer has co-written the 2017 film Blade Runner 2049?
Michael Green.
Correct, Elsie. Which family of musical instruments does the trombone belong to?
I can't remember.
Brass. Daniel, in the Gregorian calendar, Halloween is celebrated at the end of which month?
October.
Correct, Phil. How many people attempt on a triple date?
3.
Even 6. Edna, which sport would you associate Michael Jordan?
Basketball.
Correct, Grant. In social media, which member of the Sidemen has the phrase "Low Gang for Life"?
Simon Minter.
I'll accept Simon Minter or Mini Minter.
Bank.
Hamasa Ballers Vagos and Grove Street families are the gang members of which shooting action video game series?
Grand Theft Auto.
Correct, Janine. In exclusive music videos, if the foul language is uncut, it's known as a what version?
Explicit.
Correct, Lewis. In maths, what is 25 minus 18?
7.
Correct, Elsie. In fashion, a jerkin is a type of what clothing accessory?
Jacket.
Correct, Daniel. In the UK currency, what is the slang term given to a £10 note?
Tenner.
Correct, Phil.
Bank.
After the Queen's death, Prince Charles is crowned as what?
Is it King Charles II?
Nope, it's
come
King
on, Phil.
Charles III. Edna, in wedding anniversaries, how many years of marriage does bronze represent?
10 years.
Nope, 8 years. Grant, in transports, what name is given to a bike that has a lithium-ion powered battery?
Electric bike.
Correct, Hamasa. In the UK, most motor vehicles are topped up with which type of petrol?
Leaded petrol.
Even unleaded petrol, Hamasa.
Oh my god.
Janine, King Midas turns everything into gold in which mythology?
Greek.
Correct, Lewis. In electronics, which year of the 2000s was GameCube released?
2004?
Nope, 2001. Elsie, in food, the word mutton is a type of meat from which animal?
Sheep.
Correct, Daniel. In movies, Hermione Granger and Ronald Weasley are friends
Harry
of which?
Potter.
Correct, Phil. Which children's fictional ugly dwarf turns straw into gold?
Rumpelstiltskin.
Correct, Edna.
Bank.
Time's up. Your bank was in time. And you did slightly better in this round, team. You banked £550. But why is it still not 1,000? Who needs to get back in town? Who is about to get the sack? One of you is about to leave with nothing. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
In the second round, Daniel is the strongest link, as he gained the most money for the team. Phil is statistically the weakest link, since he got the most questions wrong. However, he did bank £300 for the team. Will that save him from the vote?
Okay, voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Phil.
Elsie.
Lewis.
Elsie.
Phil.
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 Elsie, who has managed to survive the previous vote, and so far doesn't know the family of musical instruments. What do you do?
I'm a hairdresser.
How long have you been a hairdresser?
For about 1 year, so not very long.
It certainly isn't. And what type of hairstyles do you make?
Well, I make hair curls, hair straightenings, and bead decorations.
Very creative choice. And do your clients like the hairstyles you give them?
Yes, they certainly love them as a great result, and they requested these styles. So I believe hairdressing is so far the best job.
I think you should be very proud with your chosen job. So, Elsie, why do you want to get rid of Phil?
I voted for Phil, because he got most of his questions wrong, which was slightly worse than the previous round.
But did you know that he banked the most money, which was a good improvement for the team though?
Yes, I was fully aware of this. But sadly, it's not enough to save him, due to getting more questions wrong than the rest of us.
Fair enough, I guess. So Lewis, you said that you're unemployed?
Yes, unfortunately, but hopefully I should be able to find a job pretty soon.
What kind of job are you looking for?
Well, since I have good money skills in maths when I was in school and college, I thought of working at a video game store.
Really? Even after thinking that the GameCube was released in 2004 instead of 2001? Well, what makes you want to work at a video game store? Let me guess, is it to do with working with prices for video game products?
Yes, that's right. And I also consider working at a video game store straight after I found out that the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series games and consoles were released earlier, and they are the most expensive products. More expensive than the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One games and consoles.
I see. And speaking of the expensive PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series games and consoles, do the customers straightly buy their favorite games from these platforms, or do they come up with other ideas?
Well, in my opinion, I think the majority would consider making pocket money for their favorite expensive games, just like I made that consideration earlier in my life, as I consider to put £10 a week in a jar, since I'd been watching video game walkthroughs on YouTube, and found out online how much these games cost.
So basically, if you work at a video game store, would you give advice to the customers to make pocket money for their favorite expensive games before buying them then?
I genuinely believe so, as long as there are still plenty of their favorite video games left in stock.
Well, good luck with that. So Lewis, why have you voted for Phil? Don't like him much?
I have nothing personal against Phil, but just like Elsie said, he got the most questions wrong in this round despite banking a decent amount of money. So unfortunately it still means he's pretty weaker than everyone else.
He certainly is. Phil, the 52-year-old children's book author, who thinks that 3 people attempts on a triple date instead of 6, and doesn't exactly know Prince Charles's full monarch name since the Queen's death. With 5 votes you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
God darn it. I really hate to leave the game so early with nothing, because I banked £300 for the team, but I knew that my time would come, as I didn't answer as many questions correctly as the rest of the team. I think Elsie or Edna would be voted off next, because their performance were very weak at the start of the game, and I think they are really going to crack under pressure.
Round 3. Out of the £2,000 you could have won by now, you only banked so far £800, and you still haven't reached 4 figures yet. 7 of you left. We're cutting another 10 seconds from the time. We'll start with the strongest link in the last round. And that's Daniel. Let's play. The weakest link. Start the clock. Daniel, in sport, which football club team became the Barclays champions in 2012?
Manchester City.
Correct, Edna. In world flags, what H is another name given to the Netherlands?
Pass.
Poland. Grant, in which year of the 1980s was the compact disc first released?
1983.
Nope, 1982. Hamasa in fast food restaurants, the initials KFC stands for Kentucky Fried what?
Chicken.
Correct, Janine. How many days are there in 3 fortnights?
42.
Correct, Lewis. In maths, if I bought a potato salad for £1.50, how much would it cost if it has a 10% discount?
£1.35.
Correct, Elsie. If someone does singing or saying something without making any sounds, it's known as a what performance?
Miming.
Correct, Daniel.
Bank.
If A is Alpha and Z is Zulu, what is K?
Kilo.
Correct, Edna. In space travel, what is the name of the American astronaut who attempted to play golf on the moon in 1971?
I don't know.
Alan Shepard. Grant, complete the title of Eliza Doolittle's song I Was Big When I Was What?
Little.
Correct, Hamasa. In the children's cartoon series The Flintstones, what's the name of the strong baby son of Betty and Barney Rubble?
Pebbles. No Bam Bam.
Nope, you said Pebbles first. Bam Bam is the correct answer, Hamasa. Janine, who was the 32nd President of the United States?
Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
Correct, Lewis. In a game of darts, what score would you get if you throw a double 16 a bull in the bullseye?
107?
Correct, Elsie. In the television, which month of 2005 was the Jeremy Kyle show first aired?
July.
Correct, Daniel.
Bank.
The yellow sidekicks with goggles who are known as minions appear on which Illumination film series?
Despicable Me.
Correct, Edna. In cocktail drinks, the fruit punch is originally made with cranberries, oranges, limes, and which other fruit?
Lemons.
Nope, pineapples. Grant, in technology, Samsung is an electronic device company from which East Asian country?
South Korea.
Correct, Hamasa.
Bank.
In video games, which year was the Frog Frenzy game released for Apple Mac?
2010.
Correct, Janine.
Bank.
In the children's nursery rhyme complete the tongue twister phrase unique New York is very what?
Unique.
Correct, Lewis.
Bank.
Time's up. Your bank was out of time. And it looks like your performance is back to mediocre. You banked £340. Whose performance is falling into a million pieces? Who has lost their thinking caps? Who thinks that people can think without their brains? One of you is about to leave with nothing. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
For the second round in a row, Daniel is the strongest link again, as he answered all of his questions correctly and banked the most money for the team. The weakest link statistically is Edna, because she didn't answer a single question correctly in this round. But, can she survive the vote?
Okay, voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Edna.
Edna.
Lewis.
Edna.
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 Daniel. Tell me, what do you do for a living?
I'm a retail manager.
And what does that involve?
Well, it mostly involves making sure that the retail store is always tidy, fixing cash registers, and helping customers find their requested items.
What kind of items exactly?
Such as clothes, jewelry, and electronics.
I see. And for how long have you been a retail manager?
For over 13 years.
13 years? I bet you like working at your retail store, do you?
Yes, and I'm so proud to say that my retail store has been running successfully, since there hasn't been any major problems so far. And all of my customers have been very friendly and welcoming as well.
Nice. So Daniel, what has Edna done to upset you?
She's managed to answer every single question incorrectly, and she has even been lacking in the banking department in this round. She is extremely dim nearly throughout the game, and it's definitely all over for her.
Indeed it is. So Janine, you said that you run a laundrette then?
Yes, I certainly am.
How long have you been running your laundrette?
I've been running my laundrette for up to 14 years.
And what do you do at the laundrette?
I mainly put clothes in washing machines and dry cleaners for the customers, and then I have them ready and well stocked. And I also make sure that the floor is nicely vacuumed and mopped, especially before I get ready to leave.
That sounds very handy. And how much do the customers pay to use your washing machines and dry cleaners?
Well, it costs £2.50 to insert for starting washing machines, £1.50 to insert for starting dry cleaners, and even 50p each to insert for some washing powders and conditioners.
Very interesting. And before you started running your laundrette, is there anything else that you did?
Actually, yes there is. Before I started running my laundrette, I was a housewife for 10 years, which involves keeping my house clean and looking after my children.
That's even more cleansy. And how many children do you have? And which job do you like the best?
I have a son and daughter, and my favorite job I believe is running the laundrette.
Alright. So Janine, why have you voted for Edna?
Well, just like Daniel said, she didn't get a single question correct in this round, and her performance is even more abysmal than the last two rounds. So I'm afraid her time here is up.
Right. Edna, the 72-year-old retired fitness instructor, whose performance has been extremely disappointing in this round and nearly throughout the game so far. Well, because of this, everyone has unanimously had enough of you, and it now looks like it's two things you're retired from now: fitness instructing, and from this game. With 6 votes, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I'm so devastated for not getting a single question correct in this round, but Janine was right. My performance has been even more shambles than the last 2 rounds. The fruit punch question will haunt me for the rest of my days, and because of this, everyone is going to rip the mickey out of me when I head back home.
Round 4. After finally reaching 4 figures, you now have £1,140 out of a possible 3,000. There are 6 of you left. We're cutting another 10 seconds from the time. You now only have 2.5 minutes. We'll start with the strongest link in the last round. And that's Daniel. Let's play. The weakest link. Start the clock. Daniel in the Nickelodeon's shorts The Adventures of Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan. What is the name of Bruce Lee's former master?
Space Hopper.
Correct, Grant. In the animal kingdom, the word rockhopper is a name given to which type of bird?
Penguin.
Correct, Hamasa. In which year of the 2000s was the Pink Panther movie released?
2005?
Nope, 2006. Janine, in geography, is Manchester situated in northeast or northwest of England?
Northeast.
Nope, northwest. Lewis, in social media, what type of professional competitor is Matt Stoney?
Competitive food eater.
Correct, Elsie. The 2 country singers who famously sang together on the 1983 song Islands in the Stream are Kenny Rogers and which other?
Dolly Parton.
Correct, Daniel.
Bank.
In the Hood film series by Noel Clarke, the character played by Cornel S. John is called Uncle Who?
Curtis.
Correct, Grant. In the song 12 Days of Christmas, how many pipers are piping?
11.
Correct, Hamasa. In the Harry Potter film series, which film did the house elf called Dobby first appear?
Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
Correct, Janine. In September 1939, Germany has invaded which other European country, causing World War II?
Poland.
Correct, Lewis. The Canadian rapper Drizzy Drake has released his 2009 rap song Forever featuring Kanye West, Lil Wayne and which other rapper?
Eminem?
Correct, Elsie. Other than standard Moroccan Berber, what a? Nope, it's too late to bank, Elsie.
Oh my goodness.
Other than standard Moroccan Berber, what a is another spoken language in Morocco?
Pass.
Arabic.
Oh my bloody god, Elsie.
Daniel, in science, is it true or false that bronze is a chemical element?
False.
Correct, Grant.
Bank.
In the UK, which museum would you find classic buses, trains and horse carriages?
The Transport Museum.
Correct, Hamasa.
Bank.
What's the name of the former Love Island contestant who is also known as the former footballer Michael Owen's daughter?
Gemma Owen.
Correct, Janine. Tom Parker from the Wanted boy band has died in which month of 2022?
March.
Correct, Lewis. The soft fizzy drink Iron Brew is commonly associated with which country of the UK?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Time's up. I cannot repeat the question, Lewis. The correct answer is Scotland. And as a result of Lewis failing to bank at the end of this round, your performance was completely disastrous after getting rid of Edna in the last round. You only banked a shameful, embarrassing, disappointing, unimpressive £90. Who do you think should have had their heads hung low? Who was a complete and utter disgrace? Who was in the deepest disgust? One of you is about to leave with nothing. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
Having banked £50 for the team, Daniel is the strongest link for the 3rd round in a row. Elsie is the weakest link for the 2nd time, since she got the least questions correct, and lost the most money for the team. But, will the other players vote her off?
Okay, voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Daniel.
Elsie.
Lewis.
Elsie.
Lewis.
Daniel.
Well, we have a 3-way tie this time, Elsie, Daniel and Lewis, 2 votes each. Elsie. That's a very interesting vote. What's your reason for voting for Daniel?
Because he has been getting on my nerves with his arrogance and bad attitude, especially with his complaints about my horrendous performance in this round, and he's even voted for me 3 times now, so I initiated payback.
Oh really? Well, I guess that's a good enough reason to get rid of the strongest link, isn't it? So Hamasa, I'm pretty sure I haven't spoken to you yet. Remind me what you do.
I'm a financial advisor.
How long have you been a financial advisor?
I've been a financial advisor for nearly 10 years.
And what do you do as a financial advisor?
Well, I help my clients about their plans and finances, keep them updated about their investments, and research and explain the products to my providers and the clients.
I see. And do you like your job as a financial advisor?
Yes, and I am so happy to have helped the clients meet their sales targets as well.
Nice. And what do you do in your spare time?
I go out for a jog, go to the gym, and do some cooking with my family.
That's about to make me think you're more likely an active cook and financial advisor, are you?
Yes, you can definitely say that.
So Hamasa, why Elsie?
Because I am pretty certain that she is definitely the weakest link, because the question she got wrong has cost the team a total of £300, just after banking far too late.
Right. Well, the strongest link, unlucky for Elsie and Lewis, was Daniel, so he gets to decide who goes home. Daniel, you voted for Elsie, but you now have a choice. Obviously you can't vote for yourself, so you can either stick with Elsie or change your vote to Lewis. Who do you want to send packing from this game?
I am most definitely sticking with Elsie.
Why?
Well, not only that she's trying to get rid of me along with Lewis, but I completely agree with Hamza, she's made the team lose lots of money straight after banking far too late. So it's time right now to send her to the tunnel.
That's fair enough. Elsie, the 20-year-old hairdresser, who's banked far too late and made the team lose a lot of money, and tried to vote off the strongest link along with Lewis, and failed spectacularly. You are definitely the weakest link. Goodbye.
I am so traumatized for making the team lose a lot of money after banking too late, and I swear to God, if I banked in time, I would remain in the game, especially after surviving the first round. I hope Daniel doesn't win the prize money, because he has been extremely obnoxious and arrogant, who's even voted for me 3 times out of the last 4 rounds. And I really hope he messes up his performance and gets voted off next.
Round 5. After that terrible and unimpressive round, you have in the bank so far £1,230, but of course, this could have been 4,000. You're down to 5 players, we're cutting another 10 seconds from the time. We'll start with the strongest link in the last round. And that's Daniel again. Let's play. The weakest link. Start the clock. Daniel, in which TV soap opera would you find the Platt and Barlow popular?
Coronation Street.
Correct, Grant. In history, the Berlin Wall was constructed in 1961 to separate East and West Germany for how many years?
28 years.
Correct, Hamasa. In a game of football, if a player takes his shirt off in celebration after already being booked, which card would they end up with?
Second yellow card.
Correct, Janine. In the Winnie the Pooh books by A. Milne, the rabbit hates what type of animal?
Birds. No, I mean crows.
No, I can only accept your first answer. Crows is the correct answer. Lewis, the street artist Banksy, is originally associated with which British city?
I can't remember.
Bristol. Daniel, in the royal family, who is next in line to the British throne after King Charles III?
Prince William.
Correct, Grant. In language, the word association has how many syllables?
5.
Correct, Hamasa. In fashion, which part of the body would you wear a busby?
Your head.
Correct, Janine. The boy band called The Killers originates from which U.S. city?
Las Vegas.
Correct, Lewis.
Pass.
In which year of the night? Pass.
Oh, for God's sake, not again.
Daniel, in which year of the 1990s did Tony Blair become the British Prime Minister?
1997.
Correct, Grant.
Bank.
In the animal kingdom, which of these snakes is venomous? Coach whip or cottonmouth?
Cottonmouth.
Correct, Hamasa.
Bank.
According to the law, what eye is an inquiry held by the coroner into an unexplained deaths?
I have no idea.
Inquest. Janine, in motor vehicles, which year of the 1960s was Shelby Cobra first introduced?
1962.
Correct, Lewis. In sport, is judo Chinese or Japanese in origin?
Japanese.
Correct, Daniel.
Bank.
In the film Deadpool 2, which catastrophe star makes a cameo as Peter?
Rob Delaney.
Correct, Grant.
Bank.
If someone has hydrophobia, they are afraid of what type of liquid?
Water.
Correct, Hamasa.
Bank.
In which year of the 2000s did the original UK version? Time's up. I cannot complete the question. And your performance is still disappointing and poor. You banked a far from impressive £130. Who has been wasting everyone else's time and money? Whose welcome is seriously outstayed, without a shadow of a doubt? One of you is about to leave with nothing. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
After another £50 banked by Daniel, he is the strongest link for the 4th round in a row. With only one correct answer and a loss of £200, Lewis is the weakest link. But, who will be the next to go?
Okay, voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Lewis.
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 Janine.
Hamasa. Who apparently doesn't know about people's deaths unexplained. Why Lewis?
Because he made the team lose a lot of money when he passed on his question instead of saying bank. So it's certainly the end of his time.
It sure is. So Janine, who's mistakenly thought that the rabbit from Winnie the Pooh hates birds instead of crows. Why have you voted for Lewis?
Because he said pass instead of bank, which made us lose more money than I did. So I genuinely believe he's done worse than me in this round.
Right. And finally Daniel, who's still been playing strongly so far. What has Lewis done to upset you? Had enough of him?
Yes, because I agree what Hamasa and Janine said. He is certainly the worst player in the round, since he made us lose lots of money when he said pass instead of bank. So in the next round, we will definitely make more money when he's gone.
Well, I'm not convinced by that, since we don't know about this yet. But you're right, he was the worst player in the round. Lewis, who's 24 and unemployed, and has passed instead of banked, which made the team lose the most money in this round. Unsurprisingly, the rest of the team wants to get rid of you because of that, and it's now time for you to go back home. Unanimously with 4 votes, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I just knew this was going to happen to me, and I'm very disappointed with myself for saying pass instead of bank in this round. Maybe if I hadn't have done that, the team would have voted for Janine instead. I hope Daniel doesn't win, because he's just very rude and completely full of himself throughout the entire game, and I bet the others will eventually get very fed up with him.
Round 6. After another pathetic round, you have in the bank £1,360 so far, but if your brain cells were working you could have won 5,000. 4 of you left. We're cutting another 10 seconds from the time. We'll start with the strongest link in the last round. And yet again, that is Daniel. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Daniel, in the songs by Elvis, which animal has no sounds and is described as a guardian angel in disguise?
Fox.
Correct, Grant. According to the proverb, a journey of how many miles begin with a single step?
1,000.
Correct, Hamasa. In food, which South American country follows the word nut, which is also known as parra or cream nut because of its flavor?
Brazil.
Correct, Janine.
Bank.
In which English county was the ITV weather presenter Lucy Verasamy born?
Norfolk.
Correct, Daniel. In which year of the 2000s did England win the Rugby World Cup?
2003.
Correct, Grant. In the Nickelodeon series The Penguins of Madagascar, which penguin character speaks English with the British accent?
Private?
Correct, Hamasa. In a bathroom, some high-level toilets have straight pipes and other ones have what other type of pipes?
Twisted pipes.
Correct, Janine.
Bank.
In maths, if the radio costs £25.90, how much would it cost in half price?
£12.85.
Nope, £12.95. Daniel, in the animal kingdom, are badgers carnivores or omnivores?
Omnivores.
Correct, Grant. In poetry, the owl and the pussycat got married by which type of bird who lives on the hill?
Turkey.
Correct, Hamasa. In the children's TV series Thomas the Tank Engine, what colored engines are Henry and Percy?
Green.
Correct, Janine.
Bank.
Which British actor played the Batman in 2022's reboot directed by Matt Reeves?
I haven't a clue.
Robert Pattinson. Daniel, in science, is sulfuric acid stronger than nitrous acid?
Yes.
Correct, Grant. In the TV game show Deal or No Deal, who was the first male $250,000 in 2013?
Patty Roberts.
Correct, Hamasa.
Bank.
In music, what's the nationality of the female singer Selena Sharma?
British and Australian.
I'll accept.
Bank.
Time's up. Your bank was just in time. You did better in this round, team. You only got 2 questions wrong, but you still haven't managed to reach your target. You banked £470. Who do you think is not good enough for the next round? Who is a useless player that needs to get back to the village? Who has started to lose their confidence? One of you is about to leave with nothing. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
For the first time in the game, Hamasa is the strongest link this time. The weakest link is Janine, because she was the only one to get questions wrong. However, she did bank the most money for the team. Will the other players realize that?
Okay, voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Janine.
Daniel.
Janine.
Daniel.
We have another tie, Daniel and Janine, 2 votes each. Grant. It's been a while since I last talked to you. What has Daniel done to upset you, since he didn't get a single question wrong in the whole game?
Well, what really annoys me is that he has been very rude to some other contestants in the previous rounds, and he has been getting on my nerves throughout the entire show for being extremely arrogant, which is comparing to my twin brother who appeared on this show as well.
I see. So Daniel, why have you voted for Janine?
Because she was the only one to get questions wrong in this round despite banking a lot of money, when everybody else got their questions correct.
Right. And Janine, why do you want to get rid of Daniel?
Well, I know that I was the worst player in the round, but I actually agree what Grant said. Daniel is just too rude and obnoxious across the entire game, and I can't stand it.
Well, as I remind you, team, the strongest link gets to decide who leaves the game with nothing. And interestingly, that's you, Hamasa. Hamasa. You can either stick with Janine or move to Daniel. What's your decision?
I am switching my vote to Daniel.
And why is that?
Because both Grant and Janine have refreshed my memory about Daniel's behavior in the game. He has been extremely rude to some other contestants in the earlier rounds, and he has been completely egotistical in the game non-stop. So for all of this, it's time to teach him a lesson.
Well, surprisingly, he didn't get a single question wrong throughout the whole game, and he was nowhere near to being the weakest link in this round. But it's votes that count, unfortunately. Daniel, the 39-year-old retail manager. You did quite well in today's game. You didn't get any questions wrong in the whole game, and you were the strongest link 4 times in a row. But it looks like Hamasa and the rest of the team think that you're too rude and arrogant apparently, and they don't want you here anymore. Well, this may be very surprising to you, Daniel. But with 3 votes you're the weakest link. Goodbye.
Oh my bloody god. I can't believe that Hamasa has made a horrendous misfortune to change his mind and vote me off as the weakest link, when I clearly got all of my questions correct throughout the entire game. I think Hamasa and the rest of the team were just being extremely ridiculous by saying that I was very rude to the other contestants, when I clearly wasn't. And I really hope neither of them wins a single penny from that prize money.
Round 7. You now have in the kitty £1,830 so far out of a possible 6,000. There are now only 3 of you left. You voted off the best player in the whole game. So, we still have Grant the actor, Hamasa the financial advisor, and Janine who runs a laundrette. We're cutting another 10 seconds from the time. You now only have 2 minutes. We'll start with the strongest link in the last round. And interestingly, that is Hamasa. Let's play. The weakest link. Start the clock. Hamasa in maths, what is the name of a shape that has 12 sides?
Dodecagon.
Correct, Janine. If someone was born on Boxing Day, which star sign of the zodiac would they have?
Capricorn.
Correct, Grant. In the Grand Theft Auto video game series, can Victor Vance swim?
Yes.
Correct, Hamasa.
Bank.
In the Scooby-Doo cartoon series, what's the name of his heroic puppy nephew?
Scrappy-Doo.
Correct, Janine. What P is a specific name given to a lie detector?
Polygraph.
Correct, Grant.
Bank.
In alcoholic drinks, the Plotagon is made in South Africa with which type of wine?
White wine. No, I mean red wine.
No, I can only accept
Damn!
your first answer. Red wine is the correct answer. Hamasa, how many films did the actors Al Pacino and Robert De Niro appear together?
3.
Nope, 4. Janine, which actress played the clumsy schoolgirl character Lizzie McGuire?
Hilary Duff.
Correct, Grant. In religion, what Q is the name given to an Islamic sacred book?
Quran.
Correct, Hamasa. Which duration is longer, 1,000 seconds or 15 minutes?
1,000 seconds.
Correct, Janine. In history, which former king has died in 1952?
King George VI.
Correct, Grant. Which English female rapper has released her 2014 single Get Down?
Amplify.
Correct, Hamasa. Which British Army officer has died at the age of 100 due to COVID-19?
Captain Tom Moore.
Correct, Janine. In sport, which Portuguese footballer scored a total of 451 goals for Real Madrid?
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Correct, Grant. In language, if adore is a comparison for love, what D is a comparison for hate?
Despise.
Correct, Hamasa.
Bank.
In TV dramas, which English town was the Waterloo Road Comprehensive School situated?
I don't know.
Time's up. The correct answer was Rochdale. It looks like you have finally woken up, team, and you were very close to your £1,000 target. You banked a very impressive £950. Now this is very crucial, team, and round 8 you get the chance to treble what you bank, so potentially, there's £3,000 to be won. The question is, who are you going to hang on to? Who are you going to get rid of? Who do you think is more likely to raise the bank balance? One of you, of course, is about to leave with nothing. Have the decency and courage to vote off the weakest link.
In this impressive round, Janine was the weakest link in the last round, but now the strongest link in this, for a complete reversal of fortune. Despite banking £900 for the team, Hamasa was the strongest link in the last round, but now the weakest link in this. Will his previous performance save him from the final vote?
Okay, voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Hamisa.
Grunt.
Hamisa.
Janine. Why have you voted for Hamisa?
Because despite banking a very huge amount of money, he got 2 questions wrong in this round, which was 1 more wrong than Grant. And I also believe that Grant has been the most intelligent contestant in the whole game, which is also why I didn't want to vote for him.
Right. And finally Grant. Why Hamisa? Had enough of him?
No, because he banked £900 that I passed on. But I'm afraid it's not enough to save him because he got more questions wrong than I did, and I also didn't want to run out of women, since I'm pretty sure that Janine was the strongest link in this round. I'm sorry Hamisa, but you need to go.
Sure, I'm fine with that.
Fair enough, I guess. Hamisa, the 35-year-old financial advisor. Despite banking £900 in this round, you got most of your questions wrong, and both Grant and Janine have agreed that it's not enough for you to be in the final because of that. So with 2 votes they have rightfully voted you off. Goodbye Hamisa.
Well, I did my absolute hardest up there, and I banked £900 in this round, but unfortunately it wasn't enough, since I got the most questions wrong out of the 2 remaining contestants. I think Grant will win the prize money today, even though I know that Janine was the strongest link in this round. Grant has been the most intelligent person in the whole game, especially for maintaining the gender balance.
Round 8. In the kitty you have £2,780, out of a potential prize money of £7,000. Grant and Janine, just the 2 of you left. You now only have 90 seconds, but whatever you win will be trebled and added to the total winnings of the previous rounds to make your final prize money, so there's £3,000 at stake. We'll start with the strongest link in the last round. And that's Janine. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Janine, in the Gregorian calendar, which month is 9 months before May?
Is it August?
Correct, Grant. In money, are 500 Greek drachmas worth more than 500 Italian lira?
Yes.
Correct, Janine. In tennis, how many times did Roger Federer win the Grand Slam singles?
20.
Correct, Grant.
Bank.
Complete the name of the rap song by Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa featuring Bruno Mars, Young, Wild and what?
Free.
Correct, Janine. In which year of the 1990s did the Jerry Springer talk show first air?
1991.
Correct, Grant. Which day of the week has the most letters and also comes last alphabetically?
Wednesday.
Correct, Janine. In public transports, the London Overground Class 378 train is formed of a maximum of how many carriages?
5 carriages.
Correct, Grant.
Bank.
Since July 2000, the American actor Brad Pitt was married to Jennifer Aniston for nearly how many years?
6 years?
Nope, 5 years. Janine, which business magnate has founded the Microsoft software company in 1975?
Bill Gates.
Correct, Grant.
Bank.
In social media, the Beta Squad member and YouTuber called Damon Mohammed is also better known as what?
Tuna Chunks.
Correct, Janine.
Bank.
Time's up. Your bank was well out of time. And you didn't do as well as you did in the previous round. You only banked £320 in this round. And also, you only got 1 question wrong. Nevertheless, we will treble that and add it to the total winnings of the previous rounds, so that makes the total prize money today of £3,740. However, only one of you will take that money home. You will now play against each other head-to-head. I'll ask up to 5 alternating questions each. Whoever answers the most questions correctly wins the prize money. It's as simple as that. If we have a tie after 5, we'll go for sudden death until we have a winner. So therefore, Grant and Janine, for £3,740. Let's play the weakest link. Janine, as the strongest link in the last round, you have the choice of who goes first.
I'll go second.
Grant, in the children's TV entertainment series, Chucklevision, what's the name of the 11th episode in Season 7?
The Final Frontier.
That's the correct answer. Janine, in the Women's Football Euro 2022, the England team became the champions against the team of which European country?
Germany.
That's the correct answer. Grant, what's the name of the main antagonist in the Shakespeare play, Othello?
Iago.
That's the correct answer. Janine, which British car manufacturer produces DB6, V8 Vantage, and Vanquish?
Aston Martin.
That's the correct answer. Grant, in TV adverts, which English actress from the Nickelodeon's TV series Genie in the House has presented the national railway service called Luton Airport Express?
Is it Katie Sheridan?
That's the correct answer. Janine, according to music artists, which Jonas brother has dated the American female singer Taylor Swift for only a few months in summer 2008?
Joe Jonas.
That's the correct answer. So far you are both level. Grant, to take the lead, the three official spoken languages in Belgium are Dutch, French, and which other?
German.
That's the correct answer. Janine, according to law enforcement, which type of police collects clues, information, statements, physical evidence, and records in databases in order to solve crimes?
Police detectives.
That's the correct answer. Grant, in video games, what's the name of the third-person shooter in New York City who's found drug addicts breaking into his house and murdering his wife and child?
Oh, it's Max Payne.
That's the correct answer. Janine, you need to answer this question correctly to stay in the game. There's £3,740 at stake. In the 2011 film, A Neighborhood, which presenter of The Loose Women played the character Pauline, who's also known as the mother of the main character, Kenneth, played by Adam Deacon?
Jane Moore.
No. The correct answer is Linda Robson. That means, Grant, you are today's strongest link and you go away with £3,740. Janine, you leave with nothing. Join us again for the weakest link. Goodbye.
I just got very close to performing a perfect head-to-head round to stay in the game for sudden death. But you know what? Grant truly deserves the money fair and square, especially for being intelligent and not sexist.
Wow! I am so thrilled to have won that prize money, and I had such an amazing experience in today's game. I only got 3 questions wrong, and I haven't even lost the team a single penny.